mile-high backcountry horsemen. There's a number of purposes, and one of them is to maintain the backcountry open to horseback riders. We educate and encourage people to use the backcountry in a sensible manner. We perpetuate the common use and enjoyment of the horses in America's backcountry and wilderness.
The missions of Backcountry Horsemen is to keep public lands public. Our mission is to try to maintain land that is only open to hoof and foot, and keep them trails open so that people can use them, and to stay on top of political issues that threaten that.
4 gentlemen up in Kalispell country, they used to horseback into the Bob Marshall all the time. And they got together and decided something's got to be done. So they got this organization going, and it just kept going.
So they felt that they needed to organize so that they had a larger, more powerful voice politically to maintain the integrity of the Bob Marshall.
And now we have chapters in a lot, maybe at least half of the United States.
We're trying to preserve the integrity of all public lands that are used for horses or mules.
The objectives and purposes: 1. To perpetuate the common sense use and enjoyment of horses in America's roadless backcountry.
Around here, it's wilderness areas. It's non-motorized areas that we pack into.
And usually a lot of the places we go are not open to motorcycles. Many places, like wilderness study areas, are not open to bicycles.
We feel that it's less destructive on the land, and it's less of an irritant on wildlife, a more natural way of utilizing the backcountry. The wildlife too seemed not be as threatened by our presence compared to the noise of and speed of other mechanical machines.
The animals have to have somewhere to go for security.
It's also the recreational experience. Some of us like the solitude without engines, and we like to backpack in and fish and clear trails and all of that. So it's really the backcountry experience that we are looking for.
Me, I'm looking for the solitude, the quiet. Listen to the wind blow and eagles scream, get out with nature.
There's a lot of people that recreate on public lands. A lot of them are looking for that peaceful experience out in the backcountry.
We're in a very unique location here. There's hundreds of miles of trails right around us. Then once you learn the trails, then that opens up to fishing experiences in mountain lakes that you can't get to anywhere else, and then the hunting opportunities that open up. There's a lot out there. There's a lot to learn. Just gotta schedule it and go.
2. To assist the various government and private agencies in their maintenance and management of said resource.
Part of our mission is to work hand in hand with the Forest Service and BLM to fill in gaps that they can't.
Spring of the year, there's a lot of blowdown and washouts from the spring runoffs and everything. Just clear the trails and cut the trees down.
Forest Service may request us to haul in timbers to build bridges for over rivers and gulches and stuff. They need horses or mules to haul that, because so many of these areas are unreachable by like 4-wheelers or ATVs. So that's where we fall into place.
We work with them. We pack materials. A lot of times they'll backpack in for a week, and we'll call their heavy tools and kitchens and stuff in for them. Pack it in and drop them off, and then we'll ride back out. And a week or so later, we can go back in and pick them up when their project is done. We got into the Pintler Wilderness and down into the Humbug Spires.
It is a wilderness study area for BLM, and we had adopted that trail about 4 years ago. It's something that we would do as an annual project to clear the trail, and it's been a great piece of work for us, but it's been a lot of work.
Favorite ones are the ones that are done.
3. To educate people to wisely use horses in the backcountry so as to sustain the use of animals and the resource in a manner commensurate with our heritage, and to encourage and solicit active participation by members and the general public in such activity.
Education is a part of our program. We try to have a speaker at a monthly meeting that fits our mission statement. We're constantly educating club members, but we also try to have events that educate non-members also.
Yes, we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and part of our condition of being a nonprofit is that we do hold education. It's really wonderful to help people that want to learn how to pack in the backcountry, to trail ride, how to properly tack their animals. So it's an education organization as well. You kind of have to figure out what your animal's really good at doing. Defensive horsemanship is a training that's required every 2 years for volunteers, backcountry horsemen, in order for them to work on BLM and Forest Service trails. Sometimes at those we have mini workshops or trainings on packing. People also learn how, if your horse has a injury or gets sick in the backcountry, there's some components that you can take to help with, cuts or bee stings or various things that horses can come down with, as well as people. I think we've had a positive impact. We've had several events at Murdoch's. We also held packing demonstrations on our barrel pack animals. We had 2 rings where we had very gentle horses giving young kids horseback rides. And that was a very big hit. And people were really thrilled with that. And it gave us exposure to people that probably normally wouldn't have stopped. And then they learn a little bit about our organization. I think those types of events have really opened people's eyes to what the backcountry horsemen really do. 4. To foster and encourage the formation of additional BCHMT chapters.
Yes, it's 100% volunteer.
Volunteerism has been extremely important. Otherwise, there are going to be trails that are not maintained and are not open to the public.
We have roles for all different types of members. We have administrative roles and logistical roles for folks that don't ride anymore, but just want to be a part of the mission and believe in the mission statement and want their money to go to protecting public lands. Because I do think there is a stigma that you have to be a rider to be a member. And I want to stress that you don't. As long as you believe in our mission statement and you want to preserve what we're about, we have a place for you in our organization, either as an active member that comes to every meeting, someone that takes on as a board member, or just someone that wants their membership to go do a good cause.
So you don't have to be a horse or equine owner to join the club.
The more meetings I attended, got to be a good place to meet like-minded people that believe in and enjoy the same things that I like. Great place to meet friends and make friends, and then to work towards a common goal.
I thought one of the best ways for us to find out where we would like to go on trail rides is to join this group. And then we also wanted to support the mission. So
by being in a group, usually someone in the group has already been out there before and knows where they're headed, and then the less experienced folks are able to enjoy the ride and not be as stressed out. That's kind of the advantage of being in the club, because it can be dangerous going out in the backcountry, just a couple people. 5. To seek out opportunities to enhance existing areas of recreation for stock users. We do some work just outside of Butte here, on some in Pipestone, some in the old highway leading to Whitehall, and up by Homestake Lake, and that's all part of the Continental Divide Trail. We've done work and fun rides in East Pioneers. We've even gone up to north of Helena and rode some of the trails up there. So we get around a little bit. It's basically
Clearing trails, that's become very important. Any trail we go on, we always take hand saws. And then on the official projects, we take chainsaws. And so we have people chainsawing, people holding horses, people removing the logs out of the way after they're sawn.
One of our missions is leave no trace. What that means is leave the land the way you found it. And if you camp, don't disturb anything you don't have to. And just try to leave as minimal a footprint as possible to maintain the integrity of the wilderness for people coming behind you.
Try to improve it and protect the environment.
You kind of lose that sense of being in the backcountry if you're on a trail that's 4 feet wide full of tire tracks, you know. We try to keep the trails as small and don't leave anything behind. And then we stay on top of political issues too that affect the wildlife and habitat.
We would like the community to know that we support backcountry recreational use.
There are so much public lands and there's a lot of competition for it. With the political climate too, things are always changing and constantly trying to repurpose what these lands are for or what they can be done. You know, they're never going to make more, and once you lose it, you don't get it back. So we just want to keep our voice out there and stay on top of issues that threaten the public lands and the usage of it. And you know, there's already some land that is open to bikes and ATVs. We're comfortable sharing the road, but we really want to maintain the integrity of the lands that are only open to foot, like hikers and horsemen.
There are lots of volunteer groups in Montana, and we happen to be one of a very dedicated group to helping trail build and trail maintain. That's not only for us, but it's for other people who enjoy the backcountry.
Anyone that cares about hiking and keeping these trails open either should have an active role or even just a membership role to me, because it's threatened all the time. And if we're not on top of it, fighting back, it's going to get taken away and it's going to get changed into something they're not happy with.
We have monthly meetings on the third Thursday.
Every month at the Comfort Inn.
We usually have a speaker, a potluck, and then we go into our business meeting.
And it's open door meetings. Anyone that wants to come, just come on in. Facebook, we have a Mile High Backcountry. On there is a membership form. Also on Backcountry Horsemen Montana.org. So then if you find Mile High Backcountry Horsemen on there, that'll bring you to our website where there's membership forms and a schedule of the annual events.
Let them know we're out there, and we can help them and what have you.
The Backcountry Horsemen's there to protect what they can.
If you want to have fun and work hard, join the Backcountry Horsemen.